So now it is time to get into the discussion of all of the details regarding vendors. Okay, so in this course, we are going to break down each vendor into a specific section dedicated only to them. But I first want to give you brief overview information, general information about vendors. So make sure you ask vendors for their rate before you even set up meetings or phone calls with them so that you don't get your hopes up or waste their time. Please be considerate of their time, because if you find out their rate, what they would charge you, and you know that they are way out of your budget, then you don't have to waste either of your time. And then you don't have to ask a million questions and then find out you can't afford them. Just ask that main question right away, and then you can set up a meeting. You can ask for vendor recommendations from family and friends. Absolutely, word of mouth is a fantastic way to go, because then these vendors have a proven record. You know that they're quality, you know that they made those past bride and grooms very happy. So it's really helpful to ask for recommendations from family and friends, especially if you aren't familiar with any vendors for these services in your area. Because like I normally say to you in this course, you don't have very much experience wedding planning, because this is new. This is new for you. That's why you're taking this course. So ask around, get suggestions from people. Definitely consider being open to newbies and amateurs in these different vendor areas, because they may offer you way lower prices, yet could save you a chunk of change. And I can't tell you enough, get everything in writing when it comes to vendors. I can't stress this enough. Get everything in writing. So have their services specified, what they will be providing, what times they will be offering their services. So every single vendor you hire or service you pay for in relation to your wedding should provide you with the contract that outlines all the duties or the deliverables, and make sure you read the fine print. So it covers cancellation policies, it covers everything. So normally vendors will have a contract for you to sign. This is good. It's helpful for both ways. That way your photographer can't just cancel on you and not show up. So the best order to book your vendors, there is a specific order, because you kind of have to have one in order to have the next and have everything fall into place. So the best thing you can do is, if you're deciding to go with a wedding planner, to book your wedding planner first, because then they will help you plan all of these details out. If you're planning your own wedding by yourself, which I believe in you and you are capable of doing, I would start looking at venues. So find the venue that you are wanting and see if your date that you're looking at is available. Certain seasons of the year are jam-packed full of weddings, and so your date already may be booked this year as well as next year even. It's pretty ridiculous in some cities. So find the venue availability first, because if you already have a photographer and videographer and caterer contracted for a certain date, but you can't find a venue that you like for that date, that's going to be an issue. So first find the venue, and then find the photographer and pray that they have the same date open as the venue. From there, schedule the videographer and the officiant. And a lot of this can be happening at the same time. You can be in constant communication with people. You just have to make sure you hear back from people first before you can sign on the dotted line. And so the venue, also going back, the venue means the ceremony venue as well. So is the church even available for you on that day? And of course, the wedding reception venue. So skipping back ahead, the officiant, and then get the caterer lined up. And then musicians or DJ. Then the florist and the baker, and then the rentals, if you're getting like a photo booth rental or something like that. And then the transportation, which might be a limousine or a trolley or a bus. And then you can always find your day of coordinator for the wedding. So that is a person coordinate all the details for you on the day of, so you as the bride can be present and in the moment. This can be someone that you're somewhat close to, maybe not close enough to invite to the wedding, but close enough that you trust enough to hand your wedding over to, in essence, and they can look at the checklist and make sure people have arrived at the right time, that the music's playing at the right time, and all of those fun details. So, some questions for you and your fiance to answer. The first one, are any aspects of the wedding of lower importance to us? Are we okay with not spending as much on certain aspects of the wedding? So if you are sure that you want this specific photographer and they charge more than you would like to pay, but the photos are what means the most to you, then spend extra money on the photos. And if you're like, you know what, I think we should just go with cheap centerpieces that we can rent, and then we don't have to spend a ton of money on our centerpieces, then you see how that balances out. But you need to have that conversation with your fiance to make sure you're on the same page. And if there are aspects of the wedding that you guys don't care as much about, then don't put as much of your budget behind that area. Second question, are we able to afford hiring all professional vendors? Does our budget allow for that? So, like I mentioned earlier, maybe there are newbies or amateurs to photography or videography that you know you want wedding videography, but you can't pay $2,000 to $4,000 for a wedding videographer. So you can find loopholes. Maybe a videographer even has an assistant that would be willing to do it for a lower cost. Are there portions of the wedding that you feel comfortable tackling yourself? So are there DIY projects that you can handle for yourself? Or would you rather purchase pre-made centerpieces? Do you have any family or friends that have talents in these areas that would save us from having to hire a professional? Would they be okay with serving in these areas instead of enjoying the wedding as a regular guest? This might happen if you have like a cousin that's an amazing DJ and you know that they would give you a better deal than a regular DJ that you don't personally know. Just make sure that if you ask them to DJ your wedding, that they're okay with serving at the wedding instead of just attending as a guest. Additionally, do you have any furniture, equipment, or decorations that you can already use to prevent having to rent or buy items? So, do you have maybe some lanterns or vases that you can use as centerpieces to prevent you from having to rent items? So these questions are all for you to brainstorm, gather ideas, spark those conversations with your fiance to get that conversation rolling and get those ideas flowing. So continuing on, important names and numbers to have in your records, in your phone, in your email list. The wedding coordinator for the day of, the wedding planner if you have one, a catering manager, the ceremony venue manager, the reception venue manager, the officiant, the dress shop, the dress alterations contact, the tailor, the photographer and videographer, the rental company contact, the rehearsal dinner venue manager, transportation contact, the florist, the DJ, the baker, the liquor supplier and bartenders. You see my point. You have a lot of important names and numbers to store. That way you can be in regular contact with them to make sure everything is going smoothly. Now we're continuing on with vendor negotiation tips. So I just read that massive list of vendors. Now I wanted to give you some practical negotiating tips. So when you are meeting with vendors, be armed with knowledge of typical contracts and agreements so you know if something is off. So you can ask past friends who have gotten married what their experience is with vendor contracts. Maybe they would even allow you to look at their vendor contracts. So please know ahead of time if a vendor's pricing is even in the realm of possibility before you meet with them. We talked about this earlier. Like, if you know that they are the top of the line and charge so much money for their services, and you know that you can't afford their service, then don't waste your time and don't waste their time. So if you can't afford a vendor that you absolutely love, ask if they have any recommendations of someone more affordable. They'll feel sad that they're losing your business, but they will also want you to be happy, and they more than likely will recommend someone that might be more in your budget. They also may have assistants or apprentices that are just starting out that maybe you could ask and say, hey, do you have anyone under you that just needs experience with this that I could hire for a lower cost that would be in my price range? Or maybe that vendor that you absolutely love would offer you a package with fewer hours of coverage for a lower cost than their standard packages. So maybe their standard package is $3,000 and it's for 8 hours of coverage. But maybe your budget only allows for $2,000, and so maybe they would offer to cover your wedding day for 6 hours. Even if they don't offer that as a package, you can still ask. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. Do they do referral bonuses? So maybe you can get some money back or get some money taken off of your bill if you refer more of your friends getting married to them. Come in armed with quotes from their competitors also. So if you come in and say, so I talked with a certain videographer, a certain photographer, and they offered me their services for this many hours at this price, what can you do for me? So that gives you some wiggle room, and it gives you the edge against them. So instead of asking vendors to lower their price on a standard package though, you could ask them what they could offer you within your given budget. So see if they can negotiate. Say, hey, like, I would love to have you as part of our wedding. I only have this amount of money though to go towards this specific service. So what would you be able to offer me in this price range? And of course, in all negotiations, be kind. People only want to work with kind and considerate individuals. So when it comes to vendor contract tips, make sure you read it and then reread it. Read the fine print. Don't just sign the dotted line and move on. Also, get an extra set of eyes to read these contracts. So it might be your parents, it might be your wedding coordinator or wedding planner. You may even get a lawyer, who knows? Depends on how paranoid you are or how thorough you want to be. But most of these contracts aren't a huge deal. Just make sure that someone else reads it other than you so they see if anything is off or feels strange. Double check all of the details in the contracts. Please double check. This is something you definitely want to do. Please double check the service hours. What are the hours that they have in the contract that they will be covering and servicing your wedding? Make sure those are accurate. You don't want that to be off. If the contract says they will be there from noon until 10 p.m., but you want pictures of you guys getting ready and the wedding starts at noon, then you just missed all the photo opportunities of you and your bridesmaids getting ready. So double check those hours that are correct on the contract, as well as the cost or the fee, what you'll be paying. Make sure that number is what you agreed upon, as well as double check all the details regarding payment schedules. So how much is needed right now for a down deposit, and then when is the remaining balance due, and how long do you have to pay the remaining balance? Confirm the dates with them. Make sure your wedding date is correct, as well as make sure delivery times are correct. Maybe for the cake or for rental items, make sure that the delivery time is scheduled and correct and you've signed off on it. So note the fine print, like if maybe additional fees could happen. So sometimes there are service fees if you pay with a credit card. Just be aware of that the price may be more if you pay with a credit card. Or details on what would happen if the vendor fails to complete their services or emergency clauses. So read that fine print. And then after you've made note of any errors or identified any points that you have questions about, then meet or call the vendor back to get clarification. And then once you have talked that out, ask him or her to send you an updated contract with the corrections in it, everything updated, and have everything in writing. So make sure you get that updated contract with the corrections and then sign it. Don't sign it before everything is correct. So sign it and then get copies of it. So have a copy on your laptop that you can access on the go, especially if you travel a lot. That way you can refer to it in your free time if you are trying to get in contact with your vendors. So those are some negotiation tips for you. And now we will get into more of the nitty-gritty planning details of the wedding and into a specific section for each vendor, and we will break it down for you to take at your own pace.
Beyond that, y'all, we don't just do life and relationship videos. We have our bonus Fridays where we put up life and relationship videos. We feel led to do a Friday video. But also, if you go to jamesandjazz.com, click on that videos tab, it'll scroll you down to 3 different sections of videos that we film. We do spiritual videos on Monday, where we've done topical stuff. Right now, we're actually doing Bible study with all the book of James. Now we're in the book of John. Then we'll go into another book, and so on and so forth as we feel led. So I think you'll really enjoy some of the spiritual videos that we have, and it'll help you to grow spiritually. We want to help you to grow mentally, spiritually, and physically.
And relationally.
Which leads me to the second topic is physically fit videos. And we're trying to help you to get in shape, to work out. If you're planning for a wedding, you still got to get those workouts in. That'll help you to have more energy and just feel better about yourself. So whatever you're doing in life, it's so important to do your body a favor and work out. And I know that a lot of people don't have a lot of time. Maybe you don't want to drive to the gym. Well, we've done a lot of stuff right here at the house in our studio here. We've done workouts with dumbbells, workouts with resistance bands, cardio in place. We've done a little bit of kettlebell stuff. So we're showing you how you can work out at home with the equipment that you have. They are full-length workouts. You work out with us. And then there's also instructional videos where we show you the exercises quickly. You can take notes and do it on your own time. But I think that these videos will bless you. And then on our final section, our final tab when you click on videos is that life and relationships. As I said already, that is our bonus Friday videos where we talk about what's going on in our life, which the wedding was going on in our lives, and that also relates to relationship stuff. So life and relationships is a great tab as well. We have our how we met video in that section, and a lot of other different stuff. We have our wedding, we have our proposal, bachelorette party, all that different stuff. So you guys can learn a little bit about us and what we've done in life. And beyond that, when you're on our homepage, just if you scroll to the top or the bottom, you're going to see our social media links. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, be sure to follow and like, and YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube. And when you scroll to the bottom of the page, you're going to see our subscribe to our email list. Encourage you to do that so you can see when new courses come out, because I think she's thinking about working on new courses.
Yes.
And you can also, on the bottom of that homepage, you can book us to come and speak at speaking engagement. We speak at chapels, at Christian schools, and maybe you want us to come and put on a workout somewhere, or speak at a Christian retreat, whatever it may be. Or a conference. Yeah, we would love to do that. So just send us the details in the book us section. And anything I'm missing, my love?
Yeah, if you would like to partner with us, we would appreciate all of your prayer for our ministry. And then you can also partner with us financially if you feel led. No obligation, but on our website, jamesandjazz.com, there's a tab up at the top that says donate, and it instructs you on how you can donate via PayPal, Patreon, or Venmo. So thank you. Every little bit helps. And yeah, we love you guys, and we hope that this video encourages you to plan the wedding of your dreams stress-free to your dream man, and it's going to be great. Enjoy.
All right, take her easy, y'all.